Hey guys, it's Simon. This is Wrestling Unlimited as we are here on the 6th of June 2021 to talk about everything that went down tonight at the NXT Great American Bash. If I'm saying myself if I liked the show or not, I would say I did like the show. How do I say this? I was entertained by most of the show. I could care less about the Hit Row Cypher celebration. And that's not just me hating on rap music. That's not just me not being a fan of that kind of music. I saw a lot of people on social media thinking that segment was bad. But regardless, we've got a lot to talk about. We had 5 matches on the show. No, 4 matches on the show. 7 segments in total. We got a new champion as well. 2 new champions, technically. But with that, I want to say thank you for joining me here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited. Also want to thank you for joining me. YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Remember, if you are watching on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways. Either by hitting that super chat. Nope, that's the wrong one. If you're here on Twitch, hit that donate button down below. Also, remember, you can donate Twitch bits in the live chat and subscribe to the channel one of 2 different ways. You can either subscribe with a tiered subscription, or you can subscribe for, well, almost free, basically, with Amazon Prime, because if you have Amazon Prime and link your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, then you have Prime Gaming. With Prime Gaming, you get 1 free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to support throughout the month, and I'd greatly appreciate it if you supported us right here, Pro Wrestling Unlimited. On the flip side, if you are watching on YouTube, also thank you on Twitch, Jack Dawson, for the bit donations. Really do appreciate that. But if you're watching on YouTube, you can help us out a couple of different ways, just like Jack Dawson did over on YouTube as well with the super sticker donation. You guys can give us a super sticker donation or a super chat donation, where all super chats do get read live on the air. Also, remember, you can subscribe to the channel as a channel member by hitting that join button down below. As a channel member, you get early access to exclusive news, early access to non-news videos, early access to, let's see, what else is it? Podcast episodes, and so much more. But the most direct way to support us here at Pro Wrestling Unlimited is to sign up over patreon.com/PW Unlimited. But with that, we've got Great American Bash to talk about. I enjoyed 99% of this show. Well, I guess you could say 95. I liked everything except for the Cypher. Let me refresh my notes because they froze. Okay, my notes are frozen. Thank you, Google Chrome. There we go. Chase Douglas says, what was your reaction to Io Shirai's Zoe Starks becoming NXT Women's Tag Team Champions? I'll talk about that when we get to it, bud. I'll talk about that when we get to it. Also, remember, guys, if you want to be part of tonight's show, you can do so by texting in to 510-906-1341. Again, that number is 510-906-1341. Plus, give me 1 second, guys. I got a question in the Twitch chat, and I'm not just going to answer the question. I'm going to show my answer to that question. So, Johnson740 says, are you watching the NBA Finals tonight? Well, I grab the camera here. I've got 3 screens. This screen right here, it's on commercial, but if you can read it right there, it says 2021 NBA Finals. So yes, I do have the NBA Finals on right now. Let's readjust the camera. Oh, that's way too high. Too low to too high. There we go. Let's just bump it this way just a little bit. Now it's all cockeyed. Ah, damn it. But yes, I am watching. As you can see, they're back on Bada bing, bada boom. There we go. He's on fire. Anyways, we're here to talk about wrestling, not basketball. But I just thought that'd be funny to show you guys. You asked, hey, are you watching? So I said, hey, I'll show you that I'm watching. And my camera still seems off. Should have just shared the screen instead of moving the camera, but I thought that'd be funnier. Anyways, show kicks off with the video introing us to the Great American Bash. We hear the voice of the great Dusty Rhodes. Michael Wallace says Suns in 7. Actually, I think Suns in 6. The voice of Dusty Rhodes says that, well, he said something about along the lines of, this event is known nationwide as the Great American Bash. And then we get an intro video showing all the different competitors that will be on the show tonight. And then, for the first time that I can ever remember, NXT has a full-fledged sponsor, just like SmackDown usually does with Progressive. They said, tonight's NXT Great American Bash is brought to you by Bud Light Seltzer Lemonade. And I'm all, heck yeah, let's go. Let's go. I don't drink alcohol, at least not that often, if ever, really, but we'll see. Timmy Hayes, I don't think the Suns sweep it. I think the Bucks can get at least 2 wins. But anyways, they tell us that my notes just froze again. Give me 1 second to refresh this, guys. There we go. All right, so they got red, white, and blue ropes, all the other cool things. They've got parts of the Statue of Liberty as the entrance, and we kick off the night. The NXT Tag Team Championships on the line. MSK defending against Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher. So Ciampa and Thatcher worked over Wesley early on, basically cutting him off on his side of the ring, from his side of the ring. They punished him for a while, actually. Ciampa got caught with a drop kick out of nowhere by Lee, and Carter was able to tag in. And this is when I think it was Wade Barrett who said, the tag team champions are coming in as, quote, the underdogs. But if they can pick up a victory here tonight, they may not be seen as the underdogs anymore going forward. They may be seen as just the viable champions or something along those lines. Ciampa, already read that line. Where are we? Carter was on fire here, culminating with a springboard kick brought it to the floor. Thatcher took the bullet for that one and basically pushed Ciampa out of the way. This allowed Ciampa to waylay Carter with a lariat. That took us to our first commercial break of the night. As soon as we came back, there was a hot tag, and Lee cleaned house. Lee was on a roll when he was waylaid by the challengers. Thatcher low-bridged Lee as he ran the ropes, and Lee tumbled to the outside. The challengers again targeted Wes Lee, but both of the defending champions fought back to counter Thatcher. However, the champs were cut off. Carter was now the target, and he was being worked over. Ciampa was rocked by a jumping knee strike at one point. He was on rubbery legs as MSK looked to set up their finisher, but Ciampa escaped with Thatcher's help. At one point, Thatcher walked into a super kick. Lee went for a crazy-looking handspring flippy move. Ciampa nailed him in midair with a shotgun drop kick. Close near fall after a Project Ciampa here. Lee then countered another one of Ciampa's finishers, but the challengers turned the tides after some quick tags. Carter countered a super air raid crash, and MSK double-teamed Ciampa. Carter with a swanton bomb, and Lee with a corkscrew senton for a 2. Thatcher dragged Lee out of the ring, and Thatcher also clocked Carter with a right hand. Ciampa then executed an assisted fairy tale ending on Lee, and Thatcher applied an ankle lock, but Carter got back in to make the save, and Lee trapped Thatcher in a small package to pick up the win. So the champs do retain. We see this a lot in WWE, where they want somebody to still look good off the defeat, so they just small package them. I felt like because they keep saying MSK are the underdogs, they needed a decisive win here tonight. Not just, oh, he caught him with a roll-up. Small package. I liked the match a lot. I really enjoyed this match, but in all honesty, I really do feel like MSK needed a more decisive victory. So next up, we had the face-to-face with Johnny Gargano and Kerrian Kross, and before they came out, with NXT General Manager William Regal and his enforcer, Samoa Joe. They said they were going to host the segment and make sure, well, nothing went awry. Or as Regal would say, no bedlam would ensue. So both men come down to the ring, and Gargano claimed that Kross was scared to face him one-on-one. Regal said this feud could not go on, which is a departure from most other things in NXT because, well, we've got a feud that's going to last May, June, July, August, 4 months in Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly. Regal announced that next week, the title will be on the line. He said that also, to make sure it's called down the middle, make sure everything's good to go, it's going to be special guest referee, Samoa Joe. Kross says he has 3 goals when he wakes up every morning. He wants to remain the NXT champion. He wants to main event WrestleMania, and he wants to become the WWE champion. Well, to do 2 of those, you got to drop one of those. We all know what that is. He insulted Gargano by saying that his wife wears the jeans in the family. Kross said that this is not a cartoon or a comic book. This is real life. Gargano then said it was funny. The Kross mentions my wife and her pants. Quote, Kross can't even lace my wife's boots. Kross had heard enough and said, let's fight right now. And Joe steps in the way. And Johnny was amazing here. So Kross goes to step at Johnny, who had already walked out onto the apron. And Joe gets in his way and just stands there. So Johnny kind of jumps up on the middle rope. And he's bouncing like, you can't come get me yet. You can't come get me yet. I thought this was great. I thought this whole segment was really good. Both guys came off looking good. Yes, Johnny did a little more comedy than I would have liked, building up a title match. But in all retrospect, I think this match is going to be really good. And I'm torn. I don't want I don't want Kross to drop the belt. I think Kross needs to have a longer run as NXT champion, but I think there's a really, really, really good chance he drops this title and then moves to the main roster because, well, they did the whole get the title off Bronson Reed quick thing already. Originally, the plan for Bronson Reed, and I talked about this recently, the original plan for Bronson Reed was to eventually do a singles match for the North American title with Santos Escobar because, they did the 6-man and all that kind of stuff, and he never got a singles match. He would defeat Santos Escobar and then eventually be challenged by Swerve, where Swerve would win the title. The plan was always for Swerve to eventually win the North American Championship, whether that would have been on their first meeting, second, third, whatever meeting that was. Eventually, Swerve was to win the title from Bronson Reed. But apparently, they want Bronson Reed on the main roster, and they said, get that title off of him. And so he had to drop it and basically drop some of the stuff and a lot of the stuff with Santos Escobar. So hopefully they don't say, hey, we need Kerrian Kross on the main roster like now, drop that title. Because I love Johnny Gargano. Nothing against Johnny Gargano. But this goofy Gargano is not NXT champion material right now. I just don't see it. And I hope he's not the one to win the belt. We then got a vignette hyping up NXT Cruiserweight Champion Kushida. Not really much was said here. And then we move on to the $1 Million Championship match. It was LA Knight defending against Cameron Grimes. So Grimes was like a bat out of hell at the beginning of the match. And Basically, LA Knight was not having much of this. Knight would briefly counter Grimes, but Grimes would counter again. Knight regained the advantage as the show cut to picture-in-picture commercial break. Knight was on the offense during the break. When the show returned, Knight was still in control, and Grimes struck with a one-man running Spanish fly, leading to a double down. Eventually, Grimes kept getting control. Knight would counter, and Grimes would boom. Counter of his own, right back in control. So finally, he says, screw this. Give me my belt. I'm leaving. And the referee goes, where do you think you're going? You're not leaving. He goes, hey. He knows how this works. And so the ref took the belt from him, which I don't think it's like the ref can say, if you leave, I'm going to strip you. I don't think the ref has that kind of power, but regardless, Grimes was able to use an O'Connor roll at one point as LA Knight jumped back into the ring to grab his belt again or whatever. Knight reversed with a handful of tights. Knight then took a poison Rana for yet another two count. The two fell out of the ring, and Knight gave Grimes a DDT on the belt on the floor. The referee didn't see it. They teased a count out here, but Grimes was able to get back into the ring. Grimes was on unsteady legs, and he took a headlock DDT in the ring. Knight then covered him to pick up the victory. So, yes, that does mean Cameron Grimes must now become the butler of LA Knight. Next up, we got the word next week. The NXT Breakout Tournament begins, and they told us all the men, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 men that will be competing in the NXT Breakout Tournament. We got Trey Baxter. I think that's the former Blake Christian. Carmelo Hayes. Andre Chase. Josh Briggs, who for some reason seemed very nervous standing on the ramp tonight. I'll talk more about him in a second. Ikemen Jiro, Joe Gacy, Odyssey Jones, and Duke Hudson. So, I don't know if maybe he's just supposed to just be a stiff, imposing guy like that. But everybody else spoke into the camera, and they were like, next week, yeah, all right, all excited. And he's just statue. Like, Josh Briggs just standing there, statue. As everybody else is doing things, I guess you could say. So I don't know what his deal was, but it just seemed off to me that everybody else was looking around or pumping their fists like, yeah, I'm excited for the tournament, or, oh, I'm going to win this. I'm your boy. Yeah, let's do this. And then he was just... So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. First match was announced for next week. It is, I got it here. I didn't write it down, but I do have a... First match of the tournament will be Ikemen Jiro against Duke Hudson. As far as who I would like to see win the tournament, I've always been a fan of Josh Briggs and stuff and Evolve and whatnot. I thought he was somebody that when WWE signed him, I'm like, oh, that's going to be somebody they're really going to like. Then he cut his hair and he didn't have the same look. But we haven't seen him in NXT, so I don't know yet. But he's somebody that I would like to see win the tournament. But who I think they would maybe go for, maybe like a Carmelo Hayes. I think they may go with a Carmelo Hayes. I mean, they let him do the whole ruthless aggression thing with Adam Cole. Like, if you're going to give him that kind of shine and spotlight, there's going to be bigger things for him to come. So I really do think Carmelo Hayes has got a better shot than anybody to win this tournament. I would, again, like to see Josh Briggs because I've always thought that he was somebody that WWE would really like and could capitalize on. But based off of how they've already used him, I think Carmelo Hayes is going to be somebody that either wins or goes far, probably to the finals, and then gets a big push coming out of the tournament. Going forward, we have the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships on the line. Zoe Stark and Io Shirai against The Way. And I don't know what this was, but early on, there was a couple of spots by Candice that just seemed off. She took a bump weird. And Zoe Stark, I think, took a bump weird on the apron as well. But after the first couple of minutes, this match really got going and was really good. The champions wore gear inspired by The Click from the era of the new generation. Hartwell was supposed to be dressed like Razor Ramon, and Candice LeRae was supposed to be dressed like the 1-2-3 Kid. Where I got the earliest shine, and then it was Stark that got shine as well. The match went through a commercial break as the champions were in control. During that break, we saw some cross promotion with WWE and NBC and the Olympics and whatnot. It's the same thing we've seen for a while. It was the Bobby Lashley's Kyle Snyder or Kyle Snyder commercial. They keep pushing that eventually Kyle Snyder wants to try WWE, so I don't know. After the match, the heat was on Stark, or after the break. A hot tag to Shirai, and she squared off with LeRae. And Vic Joseph said, this is what we've been waiting for. The face-off right here. Candice LeRae, Io Shirai. Candice has never beaten Io. These two, they're phenomenal together. Stark and Shirai with some double-team moves, and Stark looked good as well. Shirai went for a moonsault, and boom. Candice moved out of the way. LeRae applied a Gargano escape, and Hartwell then jumped into the ring to apply an Anaconda Vice, which is Dexter Lumis's finisher, on Stark. Then the challenger just escaped the holds, and LeRae was dropped with the palm strike. Shirai again went for a moonsault, but LeRae would counter with a suplex off the ropes. They teased ending the match here with a cradle, yet it was only for a 2. The lights would then go out inside the Capitol Wrestling Center. All of a sudden, the battery charger would appear on the screen. It went from 99 to 100, and we heard that bump, 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 bump. The lights came back on, and at the top of the ramp was Tegan Knox. Tegan Knox was at the top of the ramp. She was yelling down to Candice LeRae. Candice LeRae looked shocked, like she had seen a ghost. And then Shirai knocked LeRae out of the ring. Stark then delivered a suplex and her K360 finisher to Indy Hartwell to pick up the victory. New NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. Yeah, you heard it from me right here. New NXT Women's Tag Team Champions, Io Shirai and Zoe Stark. If you're going to ask me how I feel about this, it doesn't matter. I think Candice and Indy, they're a great team. They made great champions. They would have continued to be great champions. But Io and Zoe, they're going to be great champions as well. I'm a big fan of Zoe Stark. Every week, I think she gets better, and I like her even more. So her and Io being the Women's Tag Team Champions here, I like it. I do. And I think that's a change. It's a new tag team. Because if they would have lost, then what? They're just not going to team anymore? No, you give them the titles. Now they can take on Dakota and Raquel. They can take on Ember and Shotzi. And then there's nobody else. You make more tag teams, I guess. What happened to all those random tag teams that were put together in the Women's Tag Team title tournament? That's my question. I know Brandy Lauren was released, but you still got whatever her name is, the former, I can't even remember her name all of a sudden. Anyways, Alexis Cavallo says she has a killer finisher. Yeah, but here's the thing about that finisher. If you try to do it on someone that can't execute a good backflip, don't do it. Because that move is not really anything Zoe Stark does. Zoe Stark stands there, really, as she moves her arms around kind of to help. But it's all the opponent doing a backflip right into the knee. That's what it is. So, we'll see. After the match, where was I? After the match, Tegan Knox and Candice LeRae would brawl. Candice LeRae ran through the production area. Tegan Knox followed. And go back to the ring, right? They come back to the ring, and Zoe Stark looks at Io and goes, wait, we won? We're the champions? We're really the champions? And Io just kind of like, yep. And so we got new tag team champions. So after the commercial, they showed us something happened during the break. Dexter Lumis came. And he actually helped Indy Hartwell to the back. He grabbed her, and he helped her to the back. And Beth is so annoying. Index! Oh my God, Index! Index is still alive! leave? And I'm like, shut up. It's so dumb. So dumb. Cowboy says Elena Blake. Whichever one Priscilla Kelly turned into. That's what I was thinking of. Whatever name they gave Priscilla Kelly. What happened to her? Anyways. Next up, Toni Storm cut her promo. She was asked about, being in NXT and being challenged by Saray. And she was like, yeah, when Saray said that I was... Basically says Saray made her feel like another woman on the roster. And that's not it at all. She's like, Raquel Gonzalez, you over here worried about Ember Moon? You should be worried about me. Because if you face me for the title, I'll beat you. And then that's when she was asked about Saray. And she's like, oh, Saray said, how about Toni Storm? Like, I'm just another woman? No, I ain't facing her. Cora Jade and Gigi Dolan. There you go. So then we get the fucking Hit Row North American Championship Cypher celebration. And I'm like sitting here listening to this and I go, okay, there's no news coming out of this segment, so I really don't have to pay attention. And there wasn't. This segment was for goddamn nothing. Nothing. And it went on way too long. Like, this should have built Swerve as more of a star or something as a champion. Or somebody should have came out and been like, you guys are going on too long. You guys don't need to be out here singing. This is NXT where we fight, not performing raps and all. Like, someone should have came out here and dissed Hit Row to build up a challenger for Swerve in the belt. But no. Top Dollar said something about, we don't care who the tag team champions are. We going to challenge for the titles, me, Adonis. And then Swerve, he was going a mile a minute. And I'm just like, is this thing ever going to end? And it went on forever. So they're all doing their thing at the top of the ramp. And I go, okay, this is over. And then they start walking down to the ring and they get into the ring. And I go, oh, crap, this is still going. Oh, fuck. And this just went on just a little too long. I thought this went on just a little too long. If they would have all did their 2 minutes on the ramp and then been done, minute and a half, 2 minutes up on the ramp, just Shanti the Adonis is the DJ, wicky, and then, B-Fab did her rap. You had, and here's the other thing. I don't know how rap battles all work, but Shanti goes, all right, Swerve, he's like, all right, Swerve, you gonna freestyle, right? So Swerve's out there freestyling, yet Top Dollar knew when specific words were going to be said, and they said them at the exact same matching time. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's not called freestyling if your boy already knows exactly what you're going to say and when you're going to say it. Anyways, just saying that segment, at least to me, was horrible. I thought it was very bad. I didn't like it at all. I thought it went way too long, and I've seen other people on social media also say the same thing, that they didn't need a full-ass performance on this show. If you wanted a full-ass performance on this show, then you should have just actually brought somebody in that's an actual performer, and it didn't need to go this long. So, again, I know people like the group. I'm starting to grow on the group itself. But this tonight was not it. Like, at least to me, this tonight was not it. You guys could say that I'm wrong if you want, but I'm just saying. Then, we move on to our main event. Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, and this was what I would call a fantastic pro wrestling match. Much different than their unsanctioned match, and it had to be. It couldn't have been the same thing, because A, there were rules in this match, and B, you don't want to just repeat what you've already done. But I do have some news about this match that I will talk about once we get to the end of the match, as far as where this is going. So they did the whole thing like they usually do for big matches in NXT. See the guy walk out from the back down the hallway, and then he comes out and gets his music and his entrance. Both guys got that, and they started off with a collar and elbow tie-up. Story apparently being that this match was about proving who the better in the ring was and not just beating the crap out of each other. They grappled for a little while, and Cole powdered out before commercial break. More grappling as the show returned from the break. Cole was reeling as O'Reilly was dominating him, but the tide soon turned into Cole's favor. Cole hit a neck breaker on the floor, and Cole targeted O'Reilly's neck. O'Reilly fired up on Cole, and O'Reilly targeted an arm. Great back and forth here. Cole lambasted O'Reilly with trash talk, causing O'Reilly to hulk up. O'Reilly was raining down punches in the corner when Cole escaped his clutches. Cole then blasted O'Reilly's knee with a super kick. Cole followed this up by smashing O'Reilly's knee into the ring post. So the show cuts to a picture-in-picture commercial with O'Reilly on the mat selling his knee. Cole worked over the knee during the break. On cue, O'Reilly violently began to fight back when the show returned from the break, and this led to a double down spot. Cole was again targeting O'Reilly's knee, but O'Reilly, with a receipt, attacked Cole's knee. There was a dragon screw here at one point with the ropes. They traded strikes and kicks. Near falls by Cole after a running high kick. Cole was unable to connect to the Panama Sunrise, though, and O'Reilly answered back with a series of strikes. O'Reilly blocked a super kick, catching Cole's leg at one point. Cole then took a cradle suplex at the hands of O'Reilly and landed very hard on the back of his neck and somehow kicked out. O'Reilly with a Kawada kick, a couple of them actually, and then O'Reilly got a takedown. O'Reilly tried to transition into an armbar, but Cole blocked it. He got a small package and got a 2 off of that. O'Reilly then, Cole went to counter a heel hook, and Cole locked in a figure 4 leg lock. O'Reilly countered and applied a heel hook. Cole then managed to crawl to the ropes to break the hold. There's more back and forth action here as each rocked one of the other. O'Reilly fell out of the ring, and Cole executed a Panama Sunrise off of the apron to the floor. Let me say that again. Cole executed a Panama Sunrise off of the apron to the floor. Cole then rolled O'Reilly back into the ring, and O'Reilly got his feet in the ropes to break the pin. He traded strikes, and Cole took a brainbuster. Cole was prone on the mat as O'Reilly climbed the turnbuckles. O'Reilly leapt off with the bombs away knee, but Adam Cole rolled out of the way. O'Reilly crashed and burned. Cole delivered a last shot, yet O'Reilly kicked out at 2 3/4. As we get down to the finish of the match, Cole went for the Panama Sunrise, and O'Reilly blocked it with a knee strike. However, O'Reilly delivered the palm strike with his O'Reilly delivered a strike with his injured knee that Cole worked over previously in this match. Cole then took advantage because, O'Reilly hit the knee strike but hurt himself in the process. Cole then hit the Panama Sunrise, followed it up with the last shot. Cole then went on to cover Kyle O'Reilly and pick up the victory as we go off the air. So yes, Adam Cole does pin Kyle O'Reilly. The two are 1-1. From what I was told last week, the plan, if it wasn't changed, was for Adam Cole to win tonight. Then we wait almost 2 months for the rematch, because the rematch, again, if plans don't change, is set to be on NXT TakeOver SummerSlam weekend. There's a SummerSlam on August 23rd, there's a TakeOver on August 23rd, the night after SummerSlam, and one of the main events of that show will be the rubber match, Adam Cole versus Kyle O'Reilly. This is what was told to me last week, but I was told that it wasn't 100% yet, because it still wasn't, as of last Thursday, Adam Cole winning tonight still wasn't 100%. That's why I didn't report anything previously. But now with Adam Cole winning, it basically does confirm what I was told. Rubber match, the next TakeOver. But that's a ways away. That is, how many weeks? 1. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's like 6 weeks. Hold on. Let me double check something here. SummerSlam is 20. Okay, so it's the 22nd, not the 23rd. I got my dates mixed up for SummerSlam and stuff. Also, wow, I just saw something on Twitter and I was going over to Google SummerSlam. Here's a hot take by 3 tweets in a row that are all basically saying Max Caster is a better rapper than Isaiah Swerve Scott. Anyways, the plan right now is for Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly 3 to take place on August 22nd, not the 23rd. Sunday, August 22nd, the night after SummerSlam for the next NXT TakeOver. We'll see how that all goes, but that was NXT Great American Bash. Every match, I, for the most part, enjoyed. I enjoyed the women's tag title match. I enjoyed the men's tag title match. I enjoyed the main event. And for what it was, I enjoyed the $1 million title match. It could have been better, yes, but it wasn't bad. But with that, that was NXT TakeOver, the Great American Bash. Now I want to know what you guys thought of the show. Remember, you can let me know what you thought of tonight's show by texting in to 510-906-1341. Again, that's 510-906-1341. Let's check the polls before we do go over there, though. This person here does state... Actually, not this person, but the Twitch poll. 56% of you liked tonight's Great American Bash show. 33% thought it was just all right, and 11% didn't like it. As far as the YouTube poll does go, 81% of you liked tonight's NXT. 14% thought it was just all right, and 4% didn't like the show. As far as text messages go, got a number of them here, more than normal. This person says, do you potentially see Johnny Gargano winning the NXT title next week? Unfortunately, I can see him winning it more than I don't. I'm not going to say 100% Gargano's winning that title, but I can say like 75%. I think Gargano's winning that belt because I think Kerrian Cross going main roster. Versus NXT was great. I'm so over Hit Row. Dang. Versus says, Tim, now do you like Hit Row? I think that as a group, as a faction, they're growing on me. I said that last week, especially after Swerve won the belt. But tonight just wasn't it. I did not like that rap thing, that segment at all. I thought it went way too long. I didn't like it at all. Person says, keep up the amazing work. You do also one big question with the NXT title on the line. Who do you see walking out next week? Cross retaining the title, upcoming Johnny. Okay, I already talked about that. I think there's a good chance Gargano wins it. But I'm not going to say it's for sure. I'm not going to... If I had to put money on it, I wouldn't put money on this because I'm that undecisive. But I would say there's a better chance that Gargano... I guess I could say there's a better chance Gargano wins the belt than not. That's just my opinion because I know they want Cross on the main roster. I mean, they're not going to bring Cross to Raw, SmackDown, Raw. 5 shows in a row if they're not looking at him for that main roster and wanting him like bad. Because Cross worked Raw 2 weeks ago. So he worked Raw 2 weeks ago, didn't work that SmackDown. Then he worked Raw last week, then he worked SmackDown last week, and then he worked Raw last night. All matches before those shows. So, they want him bad. Versus Ciampa and Thatcher lost the title match. I was kind of expecting them to win. I didn't think so. I thought it was too early to take titles off MSK, especially them being still new to NXT. Versus, I think NXT did all right tonight. I didn't like the Hit Row North American Championship thing. And who challenges for the NXT Women's Championship against Raquel Gonzalez? I don't know. Maybe Toni Storm, because they've been focusing way too much on Raquel and Dakota wanting to go for the tag titles. Then, oh, hey, by the way, don't forget, Raquel is the women's champion. Versus, I'm not familiar with the wrestlers in the breakout tournament. Which of them should I watch old matches of? That's a good question. Blake Christian, the now known as, hold on. Trey Baxter. But if you're going to watch his old matches, you got to look up, I think he's Blake Christian. Look up Blake Christian. He's had some really good matches. I think the other guy that has had some good matches in the past is Duke Hudson. I'm not too familiar with him. I think he's Duke Hudson. I know a lot of people were talking about him on social media tonight when he was announced for the tournament. Carmelo Hayes, I don't know. I haven't seen anything of his out of WWE. But I know a lot of people are high on him as well. Christian Casanova, that's the name. Look up Christian Casanova. So just a couple suggestions. I'm not too familiar with most of these guys either. Also look up Josh Briggs and his work in Evolve. He is the former Evolve World Champion or just Evolve Champion. He's one that didn't have to change his name. Next text message says, off topic, do you see a claim to Varsity Blondes as the future of the tech? Varsity Blondes, no, because if you watched BTE this week, which I didn't, but I was kind of given a rundown by a buddy, he literally watched BTE and then texts me and goes, why are they breaking up the Varsity Blondes? And I go, what do you mean they're breaking up the Varsity Blondes? He goes, you need to watch BTE. And I only really watch BTE now when I'm told I need to. They fucking did a segment on BTE where basically both Varsity Blondes went to confessional and confessed that they don't like the other and they're jealous of each other's hair and stuff, and they're fucking teasing a breakup of the Varsity Blondes, and I don't like that at all. Like, what the fuck, Tony Khan? First, did you hear about Terry Funk? Yeah, Terry Funk, unfortunately, is now living in an assisted living facility for people that have dementia. So unfortunate. Prayers go out to him. Hopefully, everything goes well. First says NXT was great, especially the main event. 100% agree. First says watching that celebration of the North American Championship, I couldn't tell if I was watching a wrestling show or a concert. Well, you can tell you're watching a wrestling show because they were in a fucking wrestling ring. But regardless, person says, more Fast and the Furious questions. He says, do you think John Cena will be an F10? I mean, there's a really good possibility. There's a good possibility based off of his character arc in the movie. I don't want to spoil anything. I almost did. I almost spoiled John Cena's entire character arc. But basically from John Cena's entire character arc, I could see him coming back for the next one. I really can. Even if it's just a quick cameo. I may have already said too much. We're going to end on that one, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining me here tonight to talk about NXT Great American Bash. I want to thank you for joining me here, twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, youtube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Also remember, follow us on social media, facebook.com/Pro Wrestling ULTD. Follow us on Instagram by searching for Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and follow us on Twitter at PW Unlimited. Remember to follow our website, pwunlimited.co, and for us on Patreon, patreon.com/PW Unlimited. We'll be live again right here, same place, same time, tomorrow night, AEW Dynamite Road Rager, as they get back out on the road. The show will be taking place from the Night Center in Miami, Florida. They will have, I want to say, 3,500 fans. Didn't sell it out, which is unfortunate. Not a sellout for their first show back on the road, but in all retrospect, there's still going to be a lot of people in this building. It's going to be on the road. There's going to be a crowd. I can't wait to see if they go back to just the old stage that they had previously for Dynamite, or if maybe we get a brand new Dynamite stage. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. So remember, tomorrow, right here, same place, same time, we're going to talk about NXT. No, we're going to talk about AEW Road Rager. So with that, guys, have a great night, and I'll see you tomorrow. All right, guys, if you're still watching on Twitch,